Hello everyone, welcome to Hatha Yoga. My name is Michelle Chua. Let's begin in a restorative version of a heart opening posture using 2 yoga blocks or 2 pillows. So taking one block, please place it at the rear edge of your mat on its tallest height. The second block, medium height, crossing your mat closer to you so that the blocks are spaced apart in a way that you'll be able to keep your pelvis on the ground while have the knees bent up, the feet apart, slightly wider than hips distance. And then as you start to lie back onto the blocks, the area right beneath your shoulder blades is where the lower block crosses beneath you. And then the back of your skull lands on the taller block, which you could lower to the next level down if you prefer a little more lift in your chest. Make sure here that your 2 shoulders are evenly descending towards the ground and down your back away from your neck. So your neck feels spacious with a natural curve. Throat is open. And then rotating your upper arm bones at your shoulder sockets. Flip your palms to face up. So really exaggerate that, rotating your shoulder heads back, down, and then let the backs of your hands rest on the ground slightly away from your hips. Now with your feet on the ground, a little wider than hips distance, bring your knees together so that they can touch. Gently broadening your sacrum, softly stretching your lower back. Let's begin here. Grounding and arriving. Feeling into how you're breathing naturally. So this is the last day of highlighting the 4th limb of the 8-limb path of yoga. And that limb is called pranayama, the yogic breathing techniques. Here's a quote from Meditations from the Mat by Mother Teresa. Each one of us is merely a small instrument. When you look at the inner workings of electrical things, often you see small and big wires, new and old, cheap and expensive, lined up. Until the current passes through them, there will be no light. That wire is you and me. The current is God. We have the power to let the current pass through us, use us, produce the light of the world. Or we can refuse to be used and allow darkness to spread. In this book it says, nothing is impossible for those who have it, it being life force. The root word of pranayama is prana, which means life force. What we call a miracle is often simply the presence of a little extra prana. Prana does not differentiate between good and bad, we do. Prana simply is. It infuses the mouse with the ability to run, and it infuses the hawk with the ability to fly swiftly. It is up to each of us to make proper use of the prana available to us. Most of us have been unconsciously minimizing the amount of prana we channel into our lives because we are afraid of what we might do with all that life force if we had it. This is why surrender to God as you define divine, or to goodness, is so important. Once we surrender, we can get on with the business of being magnificent, trusting that we will be guided by a higher power along the way. As we practice pranayama, we are learning to open up our energy channels. We're saying we are ready to be the light of the world. Notice in the natural fluctuation of your breath in and out, where you feel expansion in your body as you breathe in, and where you might not feel the presence of your breath so much. As we have been talking about throughout this week, the breath is a vehicle of life force to circulate through your body. Notice the quality of that vehicle and how it's circulating prana. and into those crevices of your physical body where you might not feel as awake or alive or expansive with the breath. Visualize that part or those parts and target them as you take a deeper inhale. Softly expanding, enlivening, and letting out any sound as you open your mouth. Exhale deeply. Again, inhaling into any parts that may be asking just for a little bit more of your attention or a little more prana. Sipping a little more and a little more. Make any sound, empty your breath through your mouth. And now as you continue to lie here in this restorative, heart-opening posture, I invite you to separate your feet now, hips width parallel, thighs hips width parallel. And begin to move with the breath very slowly as you start to balance. Inhale with exhale, sustain. And if you can, closing your lips, just breathe through your nose so that we begin to warm up the body too. As you inhale next, sweep your arms slowly overhead. Hooking your thumbs, rotate your outer upper arms towards the sky. Plug the shoulder blades down. Exhale, keep hooking the thumbs and see if your arms might reach further back. Maybe they touch the ground. Inhale, raise your arms towards the sky. Join your palms in prayer position. Exhale, trace your thumbs from your forehead to your throat, to your chest, to your navel. One more time, inhale, sweep the arms forward and up. Hook the opposite thumb on top. Exhale, continue to reach your arms overhead. Maybe your fingertips touch the ground as you draw the shoulder blades down your back and soften your front ribs into your back body. Inhale, raise your arms towards the sky. Bring your palms to meet in prayer position. Exhale, tracing the midline of your body as though blessing your own body and yourself as you begin this practice. From here, either planting your hands alongside you to lift forward or turning over to one side, begin to gradually lift into a comfortable Sukhasana, which means easy pose. However you define that, so that you can sit tall and grounded. Joining your hands together at your heart center, identifying your sankalpa or intention for your practice, or perhaps saying a personal prayer. Let's open space with one chant of Om. Take a deep belly breath in. Breathing in through your nose, breathing out through your nose. Bring your hands to your belly and focus on abdominal breathing here. Letting your belly softly expand as you inhale, and letting your belly draw in towards your spine as you exhale. Yesterday we talked about bandhas, which are energy locks using the breath. We practice three main bandhas. The mula bandha or anal lock, which is exhaling, holding the breath out and tightening the perineum and anal sphincter. And that helps to lift energy from the base of the spine up through the 7 main energy centers towards the crown, awakening, enlivening, often called Kundalini. And the second energy block is the abdominal. And that's where you press your hands onto your thighs, often done standing. And after you empty the breath, holding the breath, you scoop the belly in and up. It's like you're bringing the digestive organs up into the rib cage as you hold the breath. And then letting it go, softening the belly. The third lock is the chin lock, also called Jalandhara Bandha. And it's with a tall spine. We take a deep breath. We exhale, hold the breath out. And as the breath is held out, you drop the chin to your chest, gently squeezing your thyroid, but not too hard, keeping the back of the neck long, back of the spine long, holding the breath out for as long as you comfortably can, and then releasing it. So I'm reviewing these because we're going to use all 3 of those bandhas at the end of Breath of Fire, which we're about to start for 1 minute. So at the end of Breath of Fire, we'll take a deep inhalation, empty the breath completely, hold the breath out, lift Mula Bandha, that's the anal lock, contracting the anal sphincter and perineum, lift lower belly in and up, that's Uddiyana Bandha, and tuck chin to chest as the spine stays tall, holding the breath out to your own degree before letting everything relax. So Breath of Fire is done focusing on breathing into the belly, passive inhales, active exhales, bounce the belly inward towards the spine. And it kind of sounds like you're blowing your nose quickly. All of it is breathing through the nose like this. So there's a pumping action, and it helps to stoke your digestive fire, engage core muscles of the abdomen, create heat. If you have hypertension or you start to get dizzy, just go into deep breathing into your belly instead and forget about the energy locks. Otherwise, I'm going to set the timer here for 1 minute of Kapalabhati pranayama, which is Breath of Fire. So you may like to have your hands in your belly to help feel that drum-like percussion inward. Sit tall, empty your shoulders of any tension, relax your face, perhaps close your eyes. Take a deep breath to prepare and begin. We're more than halfway through Breath of Fire. Keeping a single focus on your breath work as a means of meditation. Pause, take a deep inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth completely. Hold your breath out. Sit up tall. Lift the pelvic floor. Contract the perineum, anal sphincter. Draw the lower belly in and up. Uddiyana Bandha. Tuck chin to chest. Gently squeezing the thyroid. Chin lock. Keep the spine tall. Shoulders relaxed. Hold for as long as you're comfortable to. And then when you're ready, let everything go. Inhale. Just sitting with a natural breath for a moment. Observe the effects of your pranayama practice. So pausing to notice through your direct experience of each pose, breath work, technique of yoga, to really see how it is affecting you energetically, physically, mentally, emotionally. Let's ease into long, even breaths through the nose while softly narrowing the back of your throat to create a very subtle whispering sound through the nose. This technique known as Ujjayi Pranayama. Inhaling and exhaling. Slow, patient, smooth breaths. So continuing with that, come on down to your hands and knees, all fours, listening to your own breath pace. On your next inhalation, draw your heart forward to coil your chest up into cow pose. As you exhale, begin to contract your belly, tucking your tailbone under as you drop your skull into cat pose. Continue on at your pace of breath, inhaling to lift the chest, exhaling to round your back. Vidhalasana. Now, finishing your next exhalation, spread your fingers wide, root down through all of your fingertips as if under each fingertip was a suction cup. The center of your palm slightly lift through that suction cup action, that rooting to rise. With your shoulders right on top of your wrists, either keep your knees on the floor, modified plank, or extend your legs straight, firming your heels back. Pausing here in plank pose. Another 5 deep breaths. So focus your eyes about a foot on the floor ahead of your hands. Broaden across your shoulder blades. Lengthen your sternum, middle of your chest towards your front wall. Lengthen your tailbone towards your inner heels and draw your belly up into your back body. Keeping your belly engaged, your neck long, shoulders relaxed away from your ears. Let's slowly move through Chaturanga Dandasana on your next exhalation. Gliding your shoulders 1 foot forward of your wrist, keep the belly firmed in, gazing forward, bending your elbows close to your side ribs to graze them, and then lowering all the way to the floor into Sphinx pose. Point your toes, ground firmly as you spread your toenails on the earth, and then slide your forearms in front of you, lifting your chest off the ground. With your elbows just about an inch in front of each shoulder, palms face down, draw your chest forward and look on the ground just ahead of your fingertips, lengthening the back of your neck. Keep pressing your shoulder blades down your back ribs, breathing wide across your chest. Another 2 deep breaths. Notice here your legs are active, your knees are not resting on the floor. Your thighs, fronts of your thighs are engaged, your knees are off the ground, tops of your feet are firmly grounded. Keep that action in your legs. Then slide your wrists back alongside your floating ribs. Keep hugging your elbows close to your sides. As you inhale, draw the front of your shoulder heads behind you, peeling your chest off the floor, baby cobra. Another 2 breaths, look on the ground ahead. Soften your shoulder heads down your back. Active energy through your legs, prana in your legs. Exhale, slowly lower your chest. Keep grounding through the tops of your feet. Keep hugging your elbows close to your side ribs. Lift your shoulder heads away from the floor. Inhale, roll your shoulders back and down, perhaps a little higher in cobra. Pause here, another 3 to 4 breaths. Now, as you keep your elbows close to your sides, lift your palms about 1 inch off the floor to hover. Notice the action of your upper middle back to coil your chest up without cranking your neck, looking slightly down, firm down through every toenail, knees are lifted. Bhujangasana. Then lower your hands, reach your heart forward, 1 more inhalation, perhaps you lift a little higher in Bhujangasana and Cobra. Slide into Child's Pose as you exhale, bringing the inner edges of your feet to touch. Knees together or apart. Actively extend your arms forward as though your fingertips were trying to reach for the front edge of your mat, while your tailbone is trying to reach for the rear edge of your mat. Can you broaden space across the tops of your shoulders here by rolling your triceps or outer upper arms towards the ground so that the inner eyes of your elbows turn to face each other? Another 2 deep breaths. Balasana. Know that this posture of rest is available to you anytime you need it, or for that matter, any kind of rest, as you honor the pace that your practice needs to be today. Let's begin to walk the hands over to the right. Perhaps you reach your hands outside of your mat to lengthen the left side of your torso. Now let's highlight the left side of your rib cage with your breath. Feel the intercostal muscles between the ribs expand as you take deep breaths in. Perhaps you feel the left side of your lower back enjoy a little more space as you draw your left sitting bone towards your left heel. One more full breath here in this lateral extension of your spine. Keep your hips low, walk your hands through center, and then crawl them over to the left side. Maybe you reach outside of your mat, see what's available to you right now. And then focus on the right side of your rib cage with your breath. Can you feel your right outer armpit enliven with prana, life force, brought to it by your breath? Can you trace that down to the right side of your lower back as your right sitting bone descends towards your right heel? Let's take one more full breath. As you make your way through center again, crawl forward onto hands and knees. Have your wrists a couple inches ahead of your shoulders. Spread your fingers. Inhale, raise your right arm like a wing towards the sky. This is a little vinyasa flow, so exhale, begin to thread your right arm underneath your left bent elbow. Tap the ground with your right ear, then press the floor away with your left hand. Inhale, lift your right arm again. So we're going in and out. Exhale, spiral. Right arm under left bent elbow. Right side of the head taps the ground. Inhale, rise. Right arm stretches, opening the right collarbone from the sternum. Exhale, thread. Right arm under left bent elbow. Twice more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Loosening any stagnation in your right shoulder joint here, as well as your mid-spine. Now let's stay and thread the needle. See that your left wrist is just beneath your left bent elbow, which is flaring up towards the sky. Feel the height of your two hips even out. And notice a spiraling action at your waistline as you rotate your chest to face your left wall. Allow your two shoulder blades to soften down your back and broaden apart. Let's take two more deep breaths here. Pressing the ground away, slowly rise onto all fours. Let's prepare for side two. Inhale, raise your left arm towards the sky like a wing opening. Exhale, thread your left arm beneath your right bent elbow, tapping the ground with your left ear. Press to your right hand. Inhale, rise again, left arm towards the sky. Exhale, spiraling action at your mid-torso, thread the left arm under. Three more. Inhale, lift and expand. Open the front of your left shoulder. Exhale, slide the left arm under. Open the back of your left shoulder. Inhale, open and lift. Exhale, spiral and thread. Last movement. Inhale, open and lift. Exhale, spiral and thread. Now let's pause here and thread the needle. Situate your two sitting bones as evenly as you can, drawing towards your rear wall. Feel the twist happening mostly at your mid-back under your rib cage. See your right wrist beneath your right bent elbow pointing towards the sky. And then feel the sides of your neck long as your shoulder blades spread across your upper back. 2 more deep breaths. Now at the end of your exhalation, rising up to all fours, feel that your fingers are spread flat on the ground, those suction cup tip fingers. Tuck your toes beneath, lift your hips high into downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here on your own to explore movement. You might enjoy pedaling your feet in place to help loosen up the backs of your legs. Perhaps adding a little twist side to side where you're swiveling your hips left and right as you bend the knees. Feel your neck and shoulders. How much can you let go if there's any tension in your jaw? Flutter your lips. In your neck, you could softly explore movement of your skull. And you feel the rebounding force of your fingertips spreading into the earth as your shoulder blades lift, your hips lift and draw back. As your belly firms in, feel your center alive, not lax, slightly engaged at the abdomen. Inhale, glide forward into plank pose. Shoulders over wrists, gaze forward. Exhale, draw your tailbone towards the sky by contracting your belly, downward dog. Twice more, inhale, glide forward into plank pose. Look ahead of your hands, sides of your waist actively lifting. Exhale, pull in the lower belly, just like Uddiyana Bandha. Lower belly scoops in and up, downward facing dog. Last time, inhale, glide forward into plank pose. Draw the shoulder blades apart down your back. Exhale, apply Uddiyana Bandha, lower belly draws in and up, lifting your pelvis. Draw your sitting bones back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a deep breath in. Open your mouth, let it go. Walk to the front of your mat, forward fold. Now you may want to have blocks on either side of your feet as you stand in a forward fold at the top of your mat. Separating your feet hips width, see that your second toes are parallel to each other. Bend your knees any amount here. As you press your fingertips either onto blocks or the ground ahead of you, drawing your chest through your upper arms, firming your belly in, try to create the feeling of a flat back for a few breaths in half forward fold. Ardha Uttanasana. Notice your shoulder blades releasing down your back, though the sides of your torso continue to grow long, from your outer hips to your outer armpits. Lengthen through the sides of your neck, gaze towards the tip of your nose. Still alive in the belly and legs, take another in-breath. Keep shifting your weight forward. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. From down to your feet, inhale, sweep your arms, inhaling to rise. At the top of your breath, let your palms meet as you see them. Exhale, tracing your thumbs down your center line. Release your arms by your sides in mountain pose. Let's start a variation of Surya Namaskar C, Sun Salutation C. As you root down through toes spread, inner and outer heels, take a deep inhale and sweep your arms overhead. Watch your palms meet. Really mindful of synchronizing to your breath. Exhale, hinge forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, press with your fingertips in front of you. Draw your chest forward halfway up. Lower your hands alongside your feet. Exhale, step left knee to the ground, kneeling lunge. Root down to your right foot. Sweep your arms overhead, hooking your thumbs like an eagle. Coiling your chest up on this inhalation. Back stroke your hands. Exhale into your version of plank. Continue to lower forward and down through Chaturanga, either into Cobra or Upward Dog as you inhale. Legs strong, tailbone reaching towards the inner heels as you lift your chest. Contract your belly as you exhale. Think Uddiyana Bandha, lifting your tailbone into downward facing dog. Next inhale, raise your left leg behind you. As you exhale, rounding forward, draw your knee towards your nose and lightly step left foot inside of left hand. Set your right knee down, firm to your left foot. Inhale, rise, arms overhead, hooking the opposite thumb on top. Coil your chest up. Backstroke your hands as you exhale, landing your fingertips at the top of your mat and stepping the right foot forward, hips distance from the left. Forward fold. Inhale, circle your arms to rise all the way up to stand. Watch your palms meet. Exhale, trace your thumbs down your center line. Adding on a different variation. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. Exhale, right knee steps back to a kneeling lunge. Keep your hands down on blocks of the floor. Inhale, draw your chest forward and up like cow pose. Exhale, half split. Curl up your left toes, straightening your left leg as you bow inside of it. Flex your left foot. Inhale, rebend your left knee into a kneeling lunge. Again, coil your chest up. Hands on the earth, step into plank, exhaling forward and down through Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to cobra or upward facing dog. Root down to your toenails, coil your chest up. Hollow your belly as you exhale to lift your tailbone, downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your right leg behind you. Round forward through plank, bending knee to nose. Exhale the right foot forward, the left knee down. Keep your hands on the ground or blocks. Inhale, coil your chest up. Find a little back bend here. Exhale, scissor your right hip back to straighten your right leg in half split as you bow. Flex your right foot. Inhale, rebend your right knee again. Coil your chest up like cow pose. Tuck your left toes. Exhale, step the left foot forward, top of your mat to fold. Root down to your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms to rise up. This time, interlace your fingers, flip your palms inside out, and exhale, side bend to your right. Inhale, rise through center by firming in your belly. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale, rise through center. Exhale, join your hands in prayer and bow forward. Another variation of Surya Namaskar C. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. Exhale, step left knee back. Inhale, hook your thumbs and coil your chest up. Seal your lower belly in here. Backstroke your hands to plank, exhaling through Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, choose your back bend of cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, contract the belly to lift your hips, downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your left leg behind you. Exhale, bend your left knee, turn the left thigh open at the hip, external rotation. Inhale, tack your right outer hip further back. Exhale, tap your left knee outside your left outer upper arm in plank. Step the left foot lightly forward inside of left hand. Set your right knee down. Inhale, coil your chest up, hooking your thumbs, draw the lower belly in. Backstroke your hands on blocks, a foot in front of your left foot. And exhale, shift forward, lifting your right leg, standing splits. Now keep turning your right hip down. Inhale, lengthen your chest forward. Keep lifting your inner right thigh. Flex the right foot. Exhale, still in standing splits. Maybe you bow closer to your left shin, perhaps lifting the right leg higher. Take another inhalation here in standing splits, tacking your left outer hip back. Then exhale, set your right foot down next to the left, hips distance apart. Press through your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms to rise. Interlace your fingers at the top, flipping your palms inside out. Exhale, side bend to your left. Inhale, up to center, drawing the belly in. Exhale, side bend to your right. Inhale, up to center. Join your hands in prayer, and exhale, bow forward for the last variation of Surya Namaskar C. Inhale, press through your fingertips, draw your chest forward halfway up. Lower your hands alongside your feet and step the ball of your right foot back into a high lunge. Imagine scissoring your legs as you inhale to rise into crescent pose. Catch hold of your right wrist and exhale, side bend to your left. Inhale, lift your spine upright, vertical, keep your legs still. Exhale, backstroke your left arm, reach your right arm forward and twist to your left. Upright twist. Take another inhale, reach your right hand forward, lower it to the ground or a block. Exhale, keep spiraling your chest, sink the left hip. Maybe sweep the left arm overhead towards your front wall. Take an extra breath here in the spinal twist. On your exhale, lower to plank through Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to Cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your right leg from the inseam of the leg. Then exhale, bend your right knee, turn the thigh open at the hip, external rotation. Inhale, tack your left outer hip further back. Exhale, tap right knee to right outer upper arm, tricep, forward in plank. Softly land your right foot inside of your right hand, stay on the ball of your left foot in a high lunge. Inhale, slowly rise, arms overhead in crescent pose. Catch hold of your left wrist with your right hand. Inhale, sit up a little taller or stand a little taller. Then exhale, side bend to your right. Inhale, rise through center, vertical spine, legs are still in crescent. Exhale, upright twist, tee your arms wide apart. So right arm back strokes towards the rear wall. Inhale, extend left fingertips towards the front wall. Lower your left hand on the floor or on a block. Exhale, keep twisting here in this lunge, rotating your chest to the right. You might add sweeping your right arm overhead towards the front. Take another breath here, keeping your hips as balanced as you can. Look in front of your right foot, plant your hands on blocks or the floor, standing splits. Flex your left foot, lift it off the ground. Inhale as you lift the left leg, stretch your chest forward. Staying in standing split, exhale, bow towards your right shin. Think of tacking your right outer hip back and spiraling your inner left thigh towards the sky. One more breath in. Exhale, step your left foot next to your right so that your feet touch top of your mat. Inhale, sweep your arms to rise all the way to the top. Exhale into a forward fold for one round of Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. Step or flow into Chaturanga Dandasana or replace it with cat-cows. Taking your own version of your vinyasa, we'll meet in downward facing dog. Arriving in downward dog, notice the quality of your breath. Notice the state of the different parts of your body, what feels really alive right now, what feels really expansive, what might feel a little stagnant. What parts could you breathe a little more prana into? Bring your feet together to touch in downward facing dog. Then inhale, raise your right leg behind you. Exhale, round forwards, stepping your right foot down the midline of your mat, right between your hands for warrior two. Spin your back heel to the earth. Align your right heel to the arch of your left foot. Firm down through both feet and windmill your arms as you inhale to rise. Feel your right outer hip wrap beneath your body slightly, so that as you bend your right knee directly above your right heel, you align the center of that knee with the center toe beneath, facing forward. Your left leg, which is straight, is slightly rotated inward, firming the outside of your left heel into the ground to prevent collapsing the inner arch of your foot. Notice a slight anal lock, the Muladhara Bandha, a slight abdominal lock, the Uddiyana Bandha, as you lift your spine vertical and spaciously. Arms wide open, gaze is steady just past your right fingertips. Now listen to your Ujjayi pranayama, victorious breathing through the nose. Last two breaths here in Virabhadrasana 2. With an exhalation, cartwheel your hands. Let's meet in downward facing dog. Deep inhale. Balancing exhale. Bring your feet to touch in downward dog. Inhale, lift your left leg behind you. Exhale, round forward through plank, bending knee to nose, and very quietly land your left foot right between your hands. Set your right heel down, align your left heel to the arch of your right foot. Root down through both feet and windmill your arms, inhaling to rise. Warrior two. So let your left outer hip rotate slightly underneath your body. As you bend your left knee right over the heel, aligning the center of that knee with the middle toe pointing forward. Your right leg, which is straight, slightly turns inward. As you firm the outside edge of your right heel into the earth, feel the orientation of your pelvis, the shape of a bowl. As you bring your pelvis neutrally upright, can you feel a slight contraction of the perineum, contraction of the anal sphincter, that Mula Bandha, and a slight contraction of the lower abdomen, drawing in and up, Uddiyana Bandha. Arms wide open, shoulders relaxed, and your gaze steady just past your left hand. Observing the quality and circulation of your breath. Last two cycles of breath. On your exhale, cartwheel your hands and let's come back to downward facing dog. Downward dog, please lower onto hands and knees, all fours. See that your wrists are directly beneath your shoulders, your fingers are brightly spread, radiant, rooting down through the so-called suction cup fingertips and the base of your thumb and index fingers. Now feel your shoulders here. Rotate your outer upper arm slightly toward your rear wall, plugging your shoulder blades across your back ribs. Lengthen your neck as you look on the floor ahead of your hands, and now feel a slight Uddiyana Bandha, abdomen drawing in and slightly towards the rib cage, strength at your center. Straighten your right leg and tuck your right toes on the ground. Really make that right leg solid, as though your right heel was firming against your rear wall, while your sternum at the middle of your chest is lengthening towards your front wall. Keep a slight lift of your belly, then spin your right heel to the floor. Turn your chest to face your right wall, stack your two shoulders over the left wrist, and raise your right arm towards the sky. Feel a rebound of your own weight pressing off the floor to your left hand, left knee, right foot, as you lift the left side of your waist. Option to raise your right foot off the ground, sort of like half moon pose, standing on your knee. Flexing your right foot so that right leg still feels alive, full of life force, full of prana. You feel expansion from your heart center across your wingspan. This is a variation of side plank or vasisthasana. 2 more breaths here. Perhaps you sweep your right arm overhead, wrapping the tricep or outer upper arm towards the right wall and floor. Now set the sole of your right foot down at the rear of your mat. Cross your left shin across your mat behind you, so your left foot is now towards your left wall. And then trace your right sole an arc towards your left wall behind you. So it's stepping to the left outside of the left edge of your mat. Turn your chest towards the sky, drop your head back, and draw your shoulder blades down your back ribs. Take a deep inhale in this variation of wild thing. Stick out your tongue, let out any releasing sound. Ha! One more time, deep breath in. This is a cleansing lion's breath. Stick out your tongue, open your eyes wide. Then slowly come back to hands and knees, all fours. Flip your left palm to face the sky so that you stretch your outer left wrist and forearm. And take 3 deep breaths. Option to move into cat-cow. Set your left palm down, spread your fingers, root down to your fingertips, suction cups, and find a slight lift at the center of your palms while grounding the base of your thumb and index fingers. Lengthen your neck by looking forward of your hands and broaden your chest, broaden your shoulder blades across your back ribs. Lift the sides of your waist. Apply Uddiyana Bandha and perhaps the anal lock too, Mula Bandha. Tuck your left toes as you straighten the leg. Pause and feel the aliveness in your left leg. You're not merely straightening the leg, you're firming the heel back, activating the left quadricep. Spin your left heel to the ground. Press the floor away with your right hand, and raising your left arm, stack your wrists and shoulders in one line. A variation of vasisthasana. Notice how your breathing is complementing your posture, your mind state. Can you feel the counter forces working for you here? Of rooting into the ground with every surface area of your body touching the ground in order to lift away from the ground and create expansion. Notice any areas of congestion. Let the shoulder blades move down your back. Lengthen the tailbone towards your inner left heel. Lift your right side waist away from the ground. Last few breaths here. You might sweep your left arm overhead towards your front wall, wrapping your left outer upper arm towards your left wall. Deep breath. If you lifted your left foot on the first side, I hope that you added it here, as I forgot to mention it. Now set your left sole into the floor. Really press it into the floor as it's a strong support. Then slide your right shin to cross your mat so that your right foot lands behind you towards your right wall. Then trace the sole of your left foot like an arc on the floor to the same direction as your right foot. Spin your belly and chest to face the sky. Draw your shoulder blades down your back and drop your head back, opening your throat. Variation of Wild Thing. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Stick out your tongue, let it go. One more time, inhale deeply. Any releasing sound, stick out your tongue, open your eyes wide. Slowly come back to hands and knees, all fours. Flip your right palm to face the sky to stretch the outer wrist and forearm. 3 breaths here, perhaps adding cat-cow. Then as you sit back towards your shins a moment, just let your arms shake out, let your wrists just be loose, let your shoulders be loose. You could even interlace your fingers loosely if you like and circle your hands at your wrists in both directions. Let's come to sit with the legs in front of you. Extending your left arm straight out to the left. Imagine your left palm is saying stop. So the heel of your left palm is energy, a lot of energy pressing into your left wall. Drop your shoulders, lengthen through the back of your skull. And then you could add, if you like, your right hand resting on the left side of your skull, not forcefully, but just gently leaning your right ear down towards your right shoulder. Notice your lower back and your belly here in this position. Are they starting to become lax? Is the back beginning to slouch? And you feel the active energy of anchoring your sitting bones towards the surface below, and then finding that slight lift at your pelvic floor, bringing energy into lifting your lower spine, letting it be also a channel for life force to flow rather than to get stuck or feel congested. Let's take 2 more deep breaths here. Soften your eyes, soften your jaw, soften your tongue. Releasing, bring your skull upright, release your 2 hands in your lap. And let's just circle the spine, lean back towards the back of your pelvis. Inhale, circle to the right, towards your right sitting bone. Torso towards the front, leaning towards your pubic bone. And then torso to the left, towards your left sitting bone. Take that circle in the opposite direction, inhale. And exhale, back to center. Extend your right arm straight out to the right, flexing the wrist so the heel of your palm has a lot of energy pressing towards your right wall. Fingertips energize as they stretch towards the sky. You could add, if you like, your left hand resting on the right side of your skull, just encouraging, not forcing, your head to fall towards your left shoulder. As you enliven the support in your lower back here, rooting into the earth, your sitting bones, you might imagine breathing into the base of your spine. Climbing up the ladder of each vertebra. And then exhaling down your spine. Feel your facial muscles at ease. 2 more breaths. And as you're ready, let that go. This time gently circling the head. Very slowly tuck your chin to your chest. Inhale to one direction. Take it halfway through the circle, or you take more breaths if you like. Exhale to the other half of the circle. And once you've rotated in one direction, switch direction very slowly. If any area feels stuck, you could stay there for a few breaths. Coming back to center, let's come onto our backs. As you lie on your back, bend your right knee into your chest. And then slide your right thigh just to the right side of your rib cage. Left leg is resting on the ground. Draw your two shoulders onto the earth. Breathe into where your right thigh makes contact with the right side of your abdomen. Then as you exhale, see if you might be able to hug your right thigh even closer, keeping your tailbone rooted on the floor, shoulders rooted on the floor. 2 more breaths. This posture is called wind relieving pose. You might know why. And it helps to promote digestive flow, releasing any stuck energy in the abdominal region. Now from here, scoot your pelvis about 3 more inches towards the right side of your mat as we move into a twist. Slide your right arm open, wide on the floor, grounding your right shoulder. Turn your gaze past it. With the help of your left hand, carry your right thigh over your body to the left. Breath by breath, exploring the range of your spinal twist. Now, if your lower back is feeling a bit stuck, you can give it a little more space by planting your left palm on your right outer hip and gently pressing away your right outer hip so that it shifts slightly towards the front edge of your mat, away from your right armpit. You could even imagine breathing into your lower back or any area that might feel like you could use a little more space or aliveness. On your next exhalation, roll back to center. Bring your pelvis to the midline of your mat. Slide your right leg forward on the floor and hug your left bent knee into your chest. Slide your left thigh to the left of your left ribs, grounding your shoulders, your tailbone. Feel into the area where your left side of your abdomen meets your left thigh. Breathe into that part of your belly. And as you exhale, give it a stimulating massage by hugging the thigh closer if it's available. 2 more breaths like that. Then slide your pelvis about 3 more inches to the left edge of your mat. Open your left arm wide on the floor, grounding the shoulder. Turn your gaze past it. With the help of your right hand, cross your left thigh over your body, breathing into your spinal twist. And then again, if your lower back could use a little more traction, place your right palm on your left outer hip and gently press your left outer hip away from your left armpit towards the front edge of your mat. Perhaps visualize breathing into areas of stuckness. Feel the releasing quality of your exhalations. Last deep breath here. Rolling back to center, draw your 2 bent knees into your chest. Either come into happy baby pose where you splay your thighs apart and catch your outer feet, rounding your tailbone and shoulders, or add some movement of circling your thighs in opposite directions to further lubricate your hip joints and massage your lower back. And gather both knees into your chest. Close your eyes. Take a deep inhale into all ends of your body, just picturing that. Drink up to the top of your breath. See if you could sip in a little more air, holding your breath in. And when you're ready, a big releasing exhale to your mouth. Splay your limbs to take space on the ground. Using any props you may need, place your body in a comfortable position to rest for a few minutes of Shavasana. As we practice pranayama, we are learning to open up our energy channels. We're saying we are ready to be the light of the world. If you'd like to join me for our remaining 5 minutes in which we'll practice one last pranayama, alternate nostril breathing as a form of meditation, and let your body ease out of stillness, gently moving, gently stretching. You might choose to keep your eyes closed as you begin to shift into an upright, seated, comfortable position. Now, in the past few weeks, we've been highlighting different mudras, gestures of the hand and body that help to seal energy or promote a certain energy flow. So here are a couple of mudras that we've introduced in the past few weeks that you might like to choose. One is to promote vitality, and that's bringing the index and middle fingers together straight, and then the ring and pinky finger come down to the center of the palm, and the thumb presses the ring and pinky finger down, and then you could rest that hand on your lap if you like. Another one is the bliss body, Anandamaya Kosha activating, and this is more for tuning into that pure inner state of joy beyond the layers of the mind and the body, and that's bringing all the fingers except the pinky finger into the center of the palm, and then just resting that on your lap. So if you're interested in practicing a mudra with your left hand on your lap, you could choose any of those. Now the right hand is going to be active in alternate nostril breathing. We know that this pranayama called Nadi Shodhana in Sanskrit is known to help rebalance the left and right hemispheres of the brain, as well as calm our nervous system and open the passageway for respiration. So the right hand, you stick out the thumb, pinky, and ring finger. Continue to breathe just through your nose with a smooth, deep quality of breathing. And then you might like to close your eyes, sit up tall, relax your shoulders. Let's begin together. Empty this breath. Hold it out at the bottom. With your right thumb, cover your right nostril. Inhale to your left slowly. Hold your breath in a few seconds. With your last two fingers, cover left nostril. Exhale gently and slowly through the right. Hold your breath out. Inhale through right nostril. Hold your breath in. Cover right with thumb. Exhale gently and slowly through the left. Hold it out. Inhale left. Hold it in. Cover left. Exhale right. Hold it out. Cover right. Inhale right. Hold. Cover right with thumb. Exhale left. Hold. Release both hands onto your lap to take the same mudra if you're using that. And just sit for one last minute to observe. deep inhalation to your lower belly, your side ribs, tops of your lungs. Join your palms to meet your heart center as you exhale through your mouth. And so we highlight the practice of pranayama, skillfully directing life force throughout your body, affecting your inner and outer being. May you continue to use the tools of yoga, both on and off the mat, not only to serve ourselves, but to be a light in this world. Let's close with one chant of Om. Take a deep breath. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.